So now what we want to do is we want to, using the calculator, round these carefully. And so these are both square roots. Well, one of them's a square root and one's a cube root. And so we want to make sure that we are using our calculator correctly and rounding correctly. So when you type these into your calculator, you should get 14.814317 Now, depending on how they want it rounded will depend on what you type into your MyMathLab. So most likely they're going to say round to the nearest hundredth. So to round to the nearest hundredth, you mark off where the hundredths are, and then you look at this for next digit. If that is 5 or more, you would round it up to 82. But since it's not, we're going to keep it as is. So it would be 14.81. So rounding is very particular. Make sure you read carefully that it says round to the nearest hundredth. Sorry, that's wrong. It's not 1881. What is that right there? 81. There we go. Make sure you round to the nearest hundredth if it says hundredth, or tenth if it says tenth, or thousandth if it says thousandth. Now, cube root, sometimes you may have a hard time finding cube root on your calculator, so look real carefully. If you can't find it, just keep looking. But this is a cube root, and you should get for your answer 7.926408444. Okay, and again, if it says round to the nearest hundredth, all right, so that's the hundredth. So then I'll look here, do I need to change my hundredths or not? And it's more than 5, so I will. So my correct answer for this one will be 7.93. So just take that up once. And that is a cube root. And you're thinking, wow, that seems awful small for a cube root of 498. Well, basically, if you think about it, you've got 7.93 times 7.93 times 7.93. And that's what's going to equal approximately 498. And again, it's approximate because you had to round. And it's not going to give you exactly 498. But that is your closeness. So that's what using the calculator is. So make sure you can get these decimals on your calculator and make sure you round appropriately. All right. So let's get a new slide in here. Can't get a new slide in here. Let's get a new slide in here. Okay, we'll do a blank slide. All right, so just a few more examples of this while we still have a few minutes on this video. These are examples that you might find in your MyMathLab. This one says the sixth root of 64. Sixth root of 64. That's the sixth root. Okay, so now you look on your sheet and you're going to find that 64 is written in a couple of places. You'll find that 8 to the second is 64. You'll also find 4 to the third is 64. And then if you keep looking really close, you'll find 2 to the sixth is 64. Okay, so 64 is on your power sheet in 3 places, so be very careful. Okay. So if I want the sixth root of 64, that's the sixth root of 2 to the sixth. Those cancel each other out, and I'd get the answer is 2. The answer is 2. Okay, so be careful. The square root, let's look and compare the symbolism. The square root of 64 would be 8, because the square root of 64 this is this little square here. And so the square root of 64 would be 8. And then if I did the cube root of 64, then I'm going to be getting 4. Those two cancel each other out, and I get 4. So just be careful. That little number on the outside does make your answer different based on what it says. And, just to kind of check through these, if you did 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that's 64. 4 times 4 times 4, that's 64. And if you do 8 times 8, well, that's also 64. Okay, so just be real careful and pay attention to which root you're looking for. This is called an index, and the index is real important. Notice on the square, the index is understood. It's not written. So just be aware of that. Okay, so hope that helps. Hope that helps explain some things for you. Use your calculator. Introduction to radicals. We'll move on to the next lesson, which is real important, which is the simplifying a radical.